Welcome to Half a Point, the podcast that saw the Las Vegas Raiders kick a meaningless field goal at the end of regulation to give me the cover and help me go 3-2 to cap off a crazy week 14. This week is going to be my week 15 best picks episode. I'll give you my best picks against the spread for week 15 in the NFL. If you're new to the channel, please leave a like on this video and subscribe. We're also active on TikTok, on X, and on Instagram, so give us a follow on those. And also a reminder to please gamble responsibly. All right, we'll jump into what was a pretty crazy week 14 in the NFL. Went 3-2 back-to-back weeks now. So since I've been back on, been having two pretty good weeks. As I say every week, I just want to go 3-2. ATS, maintaining that 60% ATS is all we want to see every week. Anything better is a bonus. Anything worse is a little bit disappointing. But 3-2, taking it every single week. Never going to complain. For a 3-2, had to get a bit lucky to get there. We'll get into that a little bit later on. But I'll start off with the Seahawks and the Falcons. It's probably one of my favorite picks on the board. You know what? Like this game went exactly how I wanted to go in the first half. It was perfect. It was 6-6. The Falcons missed a field goal, and the I think a touchdown was called back. I didn't get why that wasn't a touchdown. Like yeah, I feel like he established himself within the field of play. They didn't review it. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Ended up taking three instead of getting seven. They should have had the lead after the first half, but then I don't know. I had a first half. I wasn't watching it. I looked up and I saw it was 12-6, and I was like, what happened? Like the second half just started, and turns out they'd let up a 100-yard whatever return touchdown. Another special teams error. Special teams absolutely killed me this game, and then after that it was no shot. So it was a great first half, but then needed them to carry it on. But then the special teams let me down. So unlucky that one. Steelers, Ravens, Steelers it didn't end up making my five. Regrettably, I should have had them in instead of like the Jets or something. But they ended up winning outright, so that was good. That was good. Like it was good to get that win. Titans, Browns. I told you if not to put anything on the Browns catching more than a field goal. Um, yeah, proved out to be right in the end. I didn't have anything on the Titans, but just out of principle. Colts, Jags plus I think 2.5. It was in the contest. It was in my five. No sweat. Always good to have these ones. Yep, I know like the Colts lost the quarterback halfway through the game, but the Jags are dominating the game. I think feel like they would have covered regardless. So pretty good to have a no sweat one there. Speaking of no sweat, Commanders Vikings. I was on the Vikings. I think it was plus 2 in the contest. Um, End up winning 31-0. It was again another no sweat, pretty much done by the second half. So it was good to have a couple of easy ones. And then a couple of disappointing ones, including the Dolphins and the Jets. That was also not a sweat, except in the wrong way. Yeah, Jets weren't a chance from the get go. It's probably my least favorite pick, so wasn't too bad in the end, but pretty bad pick. Like I should be better than that. I'm not mad at the Falcons pick. I'm pretty mad that I made this pick. Saints Bucks, pretty crazy that the Saints won outright. Wasn't to play. Bengals Bills. I feel like I said at six, at 5.5, I would have been on the Bengals. I landed right on five, which is pretty rare, to be honest. But yeah, the money line looked pretty good there. So if you're on Bengals money line, I'd say that's pretty unlucky. But the start of the weekend, the Las Vegas Raiders covered the 7.5 point spread with a field goal at the end of regulation. It was, oh man, it's just one of those miracle covers. I feel like I've been needing this luck. I was on the Rams versus the Eagles early in the year, catching 3.5, going for a field goal for the win, and they not only block it, but they run it back for a touchdown, losing me the cover as well. It was absolutely brutal. This felt like justice had been served. Really lucky cover. Um, Bo Nix continues to not cover. As a favorite this year, I think last year was pretty automatic, but this year pretty disappointing. Bears Packers. I feel like I was on the Packers. Well, I was on the Packers -6.5 in the end, landed right on seven. So another good one. So overall, a couple of games there as well. Chiefs lost, same as the Eagles. We'll talk more about those games when I give my picks out. But pretty good week overall, I'd say. Lost. only 3-2 in the contest, but I feel like everything else that I gave out was pretty solid. So, yeah, good week. But as we say, every time we don't care. On to the next week. So let's jump into week 15 here. Starting off with the Bears and the Browns. The Bears are 7.5 point favorites. Give me the Cleveland Browns plus 7.5 here. Probably not one of my favorite picks on the board, but I do like it. It probably is going to be contest play here. This Cleveland team, it's going to be a run. It's going to be a run heavy game, and obviously the Bears offense when they can run the ball with Swift and Monongai. Ben Johnson's, I don't know, he's cracked. Like it's their run game's really good, but Brown's run D is pretty solid. I'm sort of backing that in. Like whereas the Bears run defense, I feel like Judkins is going to get his own here. Um, and Shadua was pretty impressive last week, even though they lost. I think 364 yards, a couple touchdowns. Um, I don't know. I'm still not sold on him, but I feel like if you can make just a couple of throws, which he has been doing, there's I have a pretty good margin of safety here. 7.5 points over a touchdown. Like it's been at 7.5 all week. So um, yeah, I like the number. Like it's just too many points for Caleb Williams to be laying. I don't know. They beat the Giants by like, I don't know 4. They beat the Bengals with no defense, barely. Like they barely really blown anyone out as favorites. Yeah, so yeah, they're both the Eagles, they're both the Cowboys, but I think they're underdogs in both games. So as favorites here, yep, could Shadua have an awful game, which I've been talking about? Absolutely, it's on the board, but I feel like a touchdown and the hook is enough safety there. Moving on to the Bengals versus the Ravens. The Bengals are 2.5 point dogs. Stay away from me. This one is, I don't know, they played a couple of weeks ago. So obviously the Bengals won outright. At 3, I played a little bit of the Bengals, so at 2.5 is probably not a play. At 3, it's just too many points, especially with this Ravens team. Like they're just not quite right. Like this, I really want to be the Ravens here, but I don't know when they're going to get right. It's sort of can't really predict it. Whereas the Bengals team, I know Joe Burrow's out here saying he doesn't like playing the game anymore. So I don't know. It's a bit of a. I played a bit of Bengals to win the division because there is a path where that could happen. Obviously, they need to win this game. They need to win out, and the Steelers to melt down, which is possible. But yeah, not a play for the contest. Oh, going back to that Chicago Cleveland game, it's like an awful spot for this Bears team. Like it's in the middle of both Packers games, and historically that's been a pretty bad spot. I feel like it's like you just come from an emotional loss, and obviously you have a really big game against the Packers next week. It's like a bad game squeezed in the middle there, so pretty bad spot. Anyway, moving on to the Texans versus the Cardinals. The Texans are 10.5 point favorites. Give me the Arizona Cardinals plus 10 here. Yep, we're starting pretty ugly here with the Browns and the Cardinals. Yep, they've been blown out by all of their division opponents. They've been keeping them close against everyone else. So I feel like this is the top of the market for this Texan side. Really, who are they to be laying 10 points? Who's this offense to be laying 10 points? I feel like they've got a couple nice wins, but none of them by significant margin, if I can remember correctly. Like, a crazy comeback against the Jags. They beat the Chiefs by 10 last week, but obviously it was a lot more closer than people perceived. They just beat the Colts as well. So I don't know. I feel like the only problem is with this Arizona team, they're like super banged up. They don't have anyone on offense, but you have McBride who'll be saying the Texans defense is obviously scary. Could there be some defensive scores here? Absolutely possible. But I feel like this Arizona team is competitive. They've been keeping up with most teams, definitely outside of the division. And I don't know, they're kind of feisty. Yeah, as I said, top of the market. Definitely look for a 10 here. Like there's plenty of 10s out there. There's been hovering between 9.5 and 10, so definitely would get the 10, which is right now. Will probably be a contest play this one. Moving on to the Jags versus the Jets. The Jags are 13.5 point favorites. stay away here. Like obviously, I lean the Jets. That's way too many points for Trevor Lawrence to be laying. But I don't know, I just can't get there. Like if it gets to 14, I'll probably put some on the Jets. But um, yeah, this Jags team again reaching the high ends of the market. You can't really trust Trevor to win by a bunch of margin here. Like I don't know, you expect them to dominate this game, but could the Jets sneak in the back door here with Brady Cook possibly? Yeah, not a play for the contest though. Moving on to the Chiefs versus the Chargers. The Chiefs are 5.5 point favorites. One of the easiest plays of the week. One of my favorite picks on the board. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs minus 5.5 here. Oh man, this is such a great spot for this Chiefs side. The Chargers needed four turnovers to beat the Eagles, or five if you count that double turnover from Hurts. And it still came down to a red zone pick by Jalen Hurts in overtime. Herbert is playing with one hand, and he's going to go into Arrowhead. Spags is going to call up crazy defense and blitzes. And I don't know. I feel like the Chargers offense is just going to fall apart here. The Chiefs, I feel like they've been getting unlucky. Yep, the offense hasn't been looking great, but I don't know. I feel like they've been getting unlucky with all of these must-win games. This literally is win or go home, and it's a win or go home. And I'm getting Patrick Mahomes against a banged up Herbert, and I don't know. I feel like the in the last few weeks, like everyone's been on this Chiefs, and everyone's sort of been getting burnt, and I feel like the public might be off them here. Definitely wouldn't need anything like wouldn't want this above seven. I probably paid anything under seven if I'm being honest. Definitely under six now at 5.5. It was at 4.5, but 4.5, 5.5, not much of a difference. So yeah, absolutely love this pick. One of my favorite picks on the board. Given the Chiefs laying 5.5. Moving on to the Giants versus the Commanders. The Giants are 3 point favorites at home. Um, Probably stay away from the contest, but now that it's at three, definitely lean Washington here. We saw last week the Vikings, like, or 2 weeks ago, they got shut out, came back and dominated. Could obviously I'm not saying that the Commanders are going to win 31-0 here, but it is like the bottom when you get shut out. It was Jaden Daniels. I think this is definitely going to be Marcus Mariota. It's probably going to be, I don't know, he's been playing most of the season and he's been pretty good. I mean, we saw him against the Broncos and I guess the Dolphins, which they lost, but yeah, no, he's been okay. He's been serviceable as a backup. And now you can dart. I think the Giants are off a bye, Dart maybe off concussion, and laying 3 points. At home, do they deserve that respect? I don't think so. I feel like this Washington team, maybe Marcus Mariota is playing for something here still. Yep, they got shut out last week. Maybe they're playing for a little bit of pride here as well. They're pro athletes. They're going to bounce back. So definitely in Washington and the points. You might make it the five. I doubt it though. Moving on to the Patriots versus the Bills. The Patriots are 0.5 point dogs here at home. Give me the Bills minus 0.5 point here. Like this is, yeah, this is. I'm obviously scared of this Patriots side, but I feel like I'm going to trust Josh Allen here. This was a plus 2.5 for the Bills earlier in the week at one place. Obviously, I jumped on that. That was an insane line. Obviously, now it's been flip-flopping between Patriots and the Bills. Obviously, whenever the Bills and have been the dogs, I've been jumping on them. But yeah, I feel like with this Patriots side, they haven't really beaten anyone. Like, they're still the quarterbacks they've beaten. Like, it hasn't been anyone impressive. Whereas with this Bills team, yep, defensively they're not great. But the last time these guys played, I think the Bills had a bunch of penalties and had a couple turnovers and heroics from Drake May at the end to win that game, which was obviously an impressive win by the Patriots. Like they are a legit team, but you're giving me Josh Allen laying under a field goal. I'm going to be I'm going to be playing that most times. Um, yeah, see if it gets back up to Bills being dogs here, but I don't mind laying 0.5 point. I'd probably. would stay away if it goes up to Bills minus two, 2.5. At that point, I feel like the value's almost gone there. At that point, if it is Patriots plus 2.5, I don't mind. Probably wouldn't tease them, to be honest. I can see a world where the Bills will can win like as a I don't know 38 to like 17 or something. Um, yeah, just trust Allen in this spot. Moving on to the Eagles versus the Raiders. The Eagles are 12.5 point favorites. Stay away for the contest. Yeah, this Eagles offense just is, I don't know what's wrong with it. Like they just can't get anything going. Should have beaten the Chargers quite comfortably, but I don't know, Hurts just melted down. So many picks and turnovers. Raiders obviously a miracle cover last week, but with Kenny Pickett, I don't know, maybe they have a little bit of life, revenge game, I guess, against the Eagles. But um, yeah, I don't know. There's a world where the Raiders win this game. Like if I don't know, again, I might throw a little bit on the Vegas money line just because with this Eagles side, like I don't know, what if they just completely lost and I don't know, Pete Carroll goes for two and the Raiders pull out a crazy miracle win. I can see a world where that happens, but I can also see a world where the Eagles just get right, the offense gets right, and the Raiders have quit. So yeah, that's why I might throw a little bit on the Raiders money line just in case, but otherwise it's a stay away. Moving on to the Broncos versus the Broncos are 2 point dogs. Give me the Green Bay Packers minus two on the road here. Yep, I'm going with another road favorite. It's two road favorites. But I think this is probably one of my favorite ones on the board as well. I know it's my team, it's my Packers, but I just feel like this Broncos team is so overrated. They're catching points at home after winning 10 straight. That should probably tell you something. That means that like people aren't really bought in on this team. I think it's the same with the Patriots. Like they've won a lot of games in a row, and now they're technically catching points at home. So I don't know. That means it means the market's telling you something. Like this Packers side, I said last week, I feel like they're on the rise here, and I feel like we're like these next few weeks we're going to reach the top of the market. Like I know they've covered I know we covered against all three division rivals, so it's not like it's the bottom of the market for this Packers side. But if their ceiling is what I think it is, I feel like it's not the top of the market either. So um, yeah, Jordan Love, um, can he take advantage over this defense? I think so. Bo Nix against this defense will be interesting to see. Um, I know. I feel like this Broncos team has been getting super lucky. I feel like the luck runs out here, and they both the Broncos and the Patriots drop one in the race for the one seed. Moving on to the Rams versus the Lions. The Rams are 5.5 point favorites. Stay away from me. This is trending up to six. I know the professional side is probably going to be the Rams here. At minus 5.5, definitely. I don't know. I'm gonna probably play some public chalk Detroit Lions and the points here. I don't know. I feel like everyone's too early to count out this Detroit side. I know they're not the same as what they were before, but now they're catching what six. If it gets to seven, I'm definitely gonna be playing Detroit. I didn't really see it getting there, but I don't know. I feel like this is a classic Dan Campbell spot where I know they blew at the Cowboys, but of extended rest, and obviously these two teams, there's the history with the trade. I feel like this is one of those games that could they be down seven late and touchdown drive, go for two, steal a win here. I feel like this is that type of game where the Lions show up and I don't know. The Rams, yep, they were impressive against the Cardinals, but we saw against the Panthers. Stafford threw a couple of picks. Could this game get weird? I can see a world where that happens. So yeah, probably stay away from the contest, but I'd keep an eye out for the line there. Pro side is the Rams, though, I think. Moving on to the Saints versus the Panthers. The Saints are 3 point home dogs. Stay away from me. This is so tempting. All principle says go with the Saints and the points. the Panthers, if you look at into the stats, I think they're 0-11 in their last 11 times as a favorite, straight up and against the spread. So, but this Saints team at home, it's a good spot for them. I feel like I play them all year and even last year, and they've just been burning me deluxe. So this is I just can't trust this Saints side. If it gets to 3.5, I'll have to play some Saints, but I don't. It's not going to get there. It's trending and it's going moving in Carolina's direction. Like this is at 2.5 for most of the week. It's up to three now. I don't hate it at three. I definitely want a three there. If you're on the Saints, but I'm going to stay away from this one. Like this is, and yeah, I feel like the Panthers. Obviously, the Panthers need this. They lost to the Saints earlier on. They're this alive for the division, so yeah, stay away from the contest, but lean Saints, but too scared. Moving on to the Niners versus the Titans. The Niners are 12.5 point favorites. Stay away from me. We've had a few big spreads this week, but this one's just not really, no real read on this one. I tend to stay away from these Titans games because I don't know, I just have no read on this team after getting burnt for over like the last couple of years. So yeah, off a bye. The Niners, Titans off a nice win on the road last week. Feels like a good spot for the Niners, but probably are going to be a stay away here. Moving on to the Seahawks versus the Colts. The Seahawks are 14 point favorites. Oh my goodness, what is going on with the Colts here? What a fall from grace that they've actually, given away their future and gone all in on this season, and it's just all come down within a month. Now they're starting a 44-year-old Philip Rivers, who, might I say, I'm not sure he looks in game shape, is probably the nice way to put it. Like, I don't even know how you go about, like, looking into this game and what the numbers say. Like, there's no historical precedent for this. Like, for me to play the Colts, this needs to be like 17. Like, there's no way I'm going to be laying only 14. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but yeah, throwing Philip Rivers in to going on the road, facing this defense, if he does play, is going to be very interesting. I don't know if you want to grab the Seahawks at this minus 14. I can see this going up. Honestly, I can see this going up. So, um, yeah, not gonna play this at all. Moving on to the Cowboys versus the Vikings. The Cowboys are 5.5 point favorites. Stay away from me. Like the professional side is the Vikings. I just can't see it. I don't get it. Um, yeah, JJ McCarthy looked good last week, but I don't know. I feel like this Dallas team can put up points against anyone. I know this Vikings defense is impressive, but I don't know. I'm just not going to trust this JJ McCarthy against a Cowboys defense that's trending up. Is there a world where they keep us close and this game gets weird? Yeah, I just can't see it. I don't know. I can't get to either side. I'm not going to lay the points with the Cowboys, just because I'm too scared of the professional opinion. But yeah, so going to be a stay away. Moving on to the Steelers versus the Dolphins. The Steelers are 3 point favorites. Another stay away here. I'm definitely leaning the Steelers -3 here. Obviously, the TJ Watt in hospital news is a bit concerning, but um, yeah, I don't really like laying points with the Steelers. I feel like this is probably the top of the market for this Dolphins side. I think it's a really good spot for the Steelers side. They don't historically lose these types of games. And yeah, I don't know. Can't you not imagine just Tua in the cold in Pittsburgh and just like having a meltdown game? It feels like a classic spot for that to happen. And yeah, Pittsburgh obviously a big win on the road last week, and now coming back home, I feel like I don't know. It just feels like a tour meltdown game, and the Steelers end up winning like 24-6 or something like that. Like it just feels like that's what's going to happen here. Um, Dolphins good story for the last 4 weeks, but I didn't see it continue, especially to in December. That's usually an auto fade. All right, that wraps up the week 15 picks. I'll run through what I'm thinking. So the Browns +7.5 probably going to be in, maybe. Cardinals +10 definitely going to be in. Chiefs -5.5, one of my favorites. Washington +3 is interesting. Buffalo minus half a point's probably going to be in. Packers -2 is going to be in. And yeah, maybe the Steelers maybe the Bengals if it gets well, it's at 2.5 for the contest, but if it's at 3, I'll probably play it. So yeah. It'll be an interesting week, but yeah, been pretty hot the last couple of weeks. So yeah, hope I can keep that going. Um, but yeah, hope you guys are enjoying these videos before footy season starts. Yeah, as I said, been grinding the tape for that as well. We'll have some content coming out very soon as preseason gets underway. But in the meantime, hope you're enjoying these NFL picks. All right, we'll wrap it up there. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like on it and subscribe. And until next week, see you later.